Hey everybody, so I've had Thunder a little bit over a year now, and during the course of the year, I've only fed him a 100% insect diet. That is what's suggested by the majority of the breeders I've talked to and through the literature that I've read. But the thing is, if you're going to offer insects, you got to give them a good variety because each insect has a different nutritional value. Some insects are better as a staple diet, and some should only be fed once in a while as a treat. So today, guys, I'm going to show you everything that Thunder eats, and you're going to get footage of him eating every single prey item. So guys, sit back, relax. This is Scales 13, and let's begin. The cricket. So starting off with, one of my favorite feeders are crickets. So crickets give your Ackie Monitor the opportunity to hunt, and they're one of the most popular feeder insects in the reptile hobby, and easily found in almost all pet stores. One reason I like feeding crickets is because it gives your Ackie the opportunity to hunt and get some exercise. They're easy to digest, they break down to mostly water actually, and they give a good sufficient amount of protein. One reason that I don't keep a colony of insects or a stock within my house is because crickets tend to make a lot of noise once they reach adults and start chirping with the wings. Also, crickets jump and they can escape pretty easily. Whenever I buy my crickets, I dust them with a calcium powder without D3, and I also dust them with a vitamin powder. Now, the crickets that I do buy do come with a gut load that is within the box that they come in. However, I don't really know the quality of that gut load. So with that being said, that's the reason why I use the vitamin powder in order to give my Ackie a very nutritious food, as long as he eats them right after they have been dusted. Coming second as Thunder's favorite, Dubia roaches. So Dubia roaches are another great staple feeder. The reason being is because they're low in fat, very high in nutrition due to that long intestinal tract, and they don't have a very hard shell, so they're easy for your animal to crunch up and devour. As you can see, he's very, very eager. And look, see, there he goes. Get Dubia. There we go. He hasn't eaten in like 2-3 days, so I decided to use tongs just so that way that first strike is nice and calm. Once he starts to eat and get full, he tends to chill out a little bit more. There we go. Good boy. Look, see? He's really getting used to me now. See, awesome thing. I can just pet him. He doesn't really stress out. He's not great with handling outside of the enclosure yet, but I can handle him in the enclosure just fine. Pick him up, move him around a little bit when he feels like it. But I don't force myself on him. It's one thing I'm just going to keep reminding you guys, because there's going to be times where you're getting tired and you just want to handle them and you're tired of waiting. Listen, guys, just wait. It's going to be so much more rewarding when your animal is a fully grown adult and is used to you. Now, sorry, Mr. Dubia. Sorry, Mr. Dubia. You got to go. Just like that. Hey guys, give me your opinions on tongs. I mean, I always use these rubber grip ones. Well, they're the only ones I have. But the reason I got them is because the all metal ones always kind of scared me, where I didn't know how hard this animal would strike or any of my other animals. And I didn't want them to like injure themselves or like scrape their face on the metal. And from what I've seen, that I haven't really seen that happen where an animal got injured from using regular metal tongs with no rubber grips. But I like these. Some people say they're slippery. I think mine aren't as slippery because they're always kind of covered with calcium on the tips. And then I've seen some people use some wooden ones too. So let me know what your favorite tongs are in the comment section. All right, bud, you got 2 more, okay? Now that you're nice and calm, I can hand feed you. Oh, but with this? With this, yeah. Remember, but not the fingers, okay? Good boy. See how quickly it just devours them. They don't have that real hard shell like mealworms do, or even superworms to an extent, even though superworms have more flesh and a thinner shell. All right, but one more dubia. Yeah, guys, so as a staple feeder, I suggest some nice gut-loaded crickets or dubia roaches. That should take up the majority of your animal's diet. Now, keep in mind, I'm always going to say variety is key. So, mixing some superworms and some mealworms in there and stuff. Just don't feed them just worms all the time, because worms can be fattier and they can be a little hard to digest because those tough shells. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. And today we're going to go with superworms. Okay, so the positive to superworms. One thing I like about these guys is that even though they're very similar to mealworms in the way they look, they actually have a thinner shell and they have more of the nice juicy goopy stuff that we want in the middle. So they actually have more nutrition and less hard shell to digest. And they're bigger than a large mealworm, so it's a much bigger food item. So depending on how you want to do it, if you're trying to feed just a couple prey items to get your animal full for the day and then go about your business, this is definitely one to do it. All right, guys, now we're going to move on to another treat I like to feed. So these are mealworms. Right now I'm feeding him a large mealworm. All right, guys. So now we're going to do mealworms. So here's the pros and cons to mealworms. So the mealworms are very easy to keep in the house. I do actually keep a colony of these, and I breed them myself from a few adult beetles. They can be put in the fridge to make them dormant, which can make them last even longer if you don't plan on feeding them and keeping them in a container. They're small. And for those of you guys that are breeding, let's just say you have a female that's egg laying, these can put some weight back on them very quickly. So what I like about these mealworms personally is that I use them as training treats, because they don't move around as fast as like a dubia on the run or a cricket. They don't bounce everywhere. So I can literally just hand feed him and he doesn't really have a problem with it. Come here, bud. See? Look, see how gentle he is with that? Now, if I want to get a nice, long, interactive feeding experience with my Ackie to build some trust, I'll use small mealworms. As you can see, very tiny mealworm. Now, one thing I also like about the small mealworms is that the large mealworms are actually grown bigger with hormones. They don't naturally come that size. Granted, I haven't seen any research that those larger mealworms do anything negative to your animal. If you have seen anything like that, drop it in the comments, but I haven't. But for me personally, I like the smaller ones because he doesn't get full as fast, so that way we can just keep feeding, right, bud? See how gentle he is? That's my boy. Good boy. It's like Jurassic Park. Hey, Blue, this one's for you. I wonder if we can make him catch it in midair. Nah, he's not gonna do that. Good job, buddy. Good job, buddy. Remember, guys, feeding like this isn't for everybody. There is a chance you could get bit. I'm just taking the risk because he's an Ackie and he's small. Don't do this with your Cited Monitor. Don't even do this with your Argentine black and white Tegu. As chill as those guys can be. Any big animal that can give you a real serious injury, don't do this, guys. I'm telling you. I'm just doing this because I am not really worried about getting bit. Yeah. Good boy. Go along, bud. But you can't see it? Alright, let me help you out here. I'm gonna eat this mealworm. This is a good mealworm. Yeah, you're like, no, it's mine. You can't take it from me. Now I will eat it. Guys, look at his colors, man. Whew. Man, shout out to Brandon at Rare Earth. This animal is gorgeous. And last but not least, we have the hornworm. Now, a lot of Ackies won't take these guys, but I'm fortunate enough where my Ackie will eat these. The positive, before Thunder devours these things, is that they're high in moisture content, so they're good for your animal's hydration.
But they are lower on their protein percentage. But they're low on fat, as far as the percentage goes. The issue with hornworms is that they can be fed in a very large size, and of course the bigger the prey item, the more fat you're giving. Also, I've seen some reptiles really get kind of addicted to hornworms where that's all they would eat. And even though this prey item isn't actually high in fat, I would still only feed it as a treat.
Really look like your dad in that shot. Yeah, for those of you guys that follow Ackie Monitor's fan page, Thunder's dad is the one with that big stripe going down his back that Brandon keeps. Come here, buddy. You want it? You want it? Good boy. Good boy. Good control. Alrighty. Yeah, and they do fight him a little bit, so I like that because it gives him a little bit of it gives him a little bit more exercise. You know, he has to swing his neck a little more. But the thing is, it's not like I'm feeding like a mouse or something with teeth and claws, so it's not necessarily gonna hurt him. He just has to do a little bit more work to get the food. And now it's gone. But of course, it's not going to give you the same type of exercise or enrichment that the animal gets out of chasing things like crickets. That about wraps up our video, guys. So remember, for staple feeder insects, dubia roaches and crickets are very good. And if they are available where you're at, see if you can get locusts and grasshoppers. Now, the thing is, don't just pick one of these insects as your staple feeder. Mix them up, and those ones should take up the majority of what you feed your Ackie daily or weekly. Now, as far as the worms, only feed those sparingly because the worms tend to have a higher fat content, and you don't want to overload your animal with too many fatty prey items. Now, the guarantee analysis that I had in this video actually came from dubiaroaches.com. I don't want to take credit for that. I'm literally just citing that that's where I got the information from. That's a very good guide to use, and it has a large list of other feeder insects up there that you can offer as well. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll leave a link to the feeder insect nutrition guide that I got from dubiaroaches.com in the description. So, guys, I don't want Thunder to run out of here because he's approaching me right now and I got this door open. So I'm going to go. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this video, and I will see you later. Please, buddy. No, don't escape.